Hey there, it's Michelle here and welcome to the Masterclass. I just wanted to quickly duck in and show my face because the Masterclass itself is going to be slides, so you're not going to see me, and I don't know about you, but I like to see the face of the person that's talking to me. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Let's dive in. Alrighty, let's get started. So today is all about building your ultimate freedom machine. Today's masterclass is about how to automate and scale your business so you can have more impact, abundance, and freedom. So what does that even mean? Well, how would it feel to know that day in, day out, you had an automated process for attracting leads and making sales in your business with very little effort? I mean, what would it even look like if your days weren't spent trying to hustle and drum up business and instead was spent doing the things that were really important to you and the things that you really love to do in your business? Because I know that grind, that reinventing the wheel every month or week or whatever it is, gaining new clients, trying to keep clients happy, and keep yourself, inverted commas, out there, it's friggin' exhausting. I know that. And most of us get into a coaching-based business or consulting-based business where we're helping people through our information and knowledge and experience and all of those things. We get into these businesses because we want to help people. We want to serve, we want to have an impact. And we want our businesses to give us the kind of freedom that we kind of went into them hoping for in the first place. We want to have an impact, we want to make money, and we want to have time, creative, all the freedoms. Basically the freedom to have the time to do what you want to do, the financial freedom, and also the freedom to show up and do this your way, fully 100% your way. Well, today I'm going to take you through a simple formula for creating what I call your ultimate freedom machine, which is a business that requires really only as much effort as you're willing to give it. And maybe you're in that place where you've been working one-on-one with clients for a while and you're kind of over it and exhausted, and maybe you're ready to leverage a more passive form of income. So maybe that's where you're at, where you spend some time and energy up front creating content and creating a program, and then not much effort after that once you've got your systems automated and up and running. So maybe that's you. Or maybe you love delivering your coaching programs and you've been doing it one-on-one or in very small groups, and you're ready to scale that to either, if you've been working one-on-one, into groups, or if you've been working in small groups, maybe you want to take it online, or maybe you want to take it bigger than it already is and create a subscription-based program, maybe something like that. And maybe you're somewhere in between. But either way, today I'm going to show you a really clear path for creating all of those things that you want: more impact, more abundance, and more freedom. And I'm going to show you that you get to do this by being 100% you. And in fact, you can't do it unless you show up fully as you. And I'm going to share more on that in a moment. But I'm going to offer some sort of formula, but that's only because there's proven and predictable systems and strategies that work. But I don't want you to be fooled into thinking I'm going to give you some cookie cutter approach that you're supposed to fall into here. This is about helping you find your specific, perfect, leveraged business model. One that harnesses all of you and your uniqueness and that happy accident of quirks and personality traits and experiences and all of those things that make you you. And if you aren't willing to embrace all of you, you're going to have a hard time, right? So we want this to be built on a foundation, a really strong foundation of you being you and feeling good about that. And I'm going to give you as much time as I can and as much information, as I can in this session. And then at the end, I am going to share with you how you can get more of this. If you love this content and you feel like, yeah, I want to learn more from Michelle, I think she's got some great information, I want to, keep the ball rolling, there will be a way to do that. But what I want you to know up front is that this is not a big pitch fest at the end. I'm not selling a $10,000 program this time round. This is just a low-end product that's going to keep you on this task of creating this ultimate freedom machine. For you, so that you get to have, do business your way in a way that's not exhausting you. So stick around to the end. I do have an offer for you, but as I said, it's not all about a pitch fest. I'm going to give you plenty of information that is actionable and going to move you forward. All right, so let's move on to what we're going to be covering. What we're going to be covering today is in two parts. So the first is, what does your ultimate freedom machine look like? So what does a highly scaled or leveraged business look like to you? So we're going to unpack your best skills and knowledge. We're going to be creating, or I'm going to tell you about how to create the framework for that knowledge. And then you're going to decide on the delivery model for that and the pricing that you want to charge. And part B is all about how to drive traffic and automate your sales process. Because while you can have a great program and you can have spent hours and hours and hours on this amazing program and your sales pages and everything else, if you don't know how to drive traffic to it and automate that process, then you may as well have a brick because it's not going to do anything for you. So part B is all about how to ensure you're attracting the right target market, how to create an automated conversion process, and also how to harness the most effective traffic sources so that you are getting the biggest bang for your buck. Alrighty, so how I want you to go through this workshop is when we get to the end of each slide, I'm going to just encourage you to pause so that you can go and do the exercises in real time. Because typically what's going to happen is if I ask you to go through the whole masterclass and then you go back and do all the exercises, there's a good chance that you won't do it. So let's just get you working in real time and going through at my pace. So I'll give you the information, then I'm going to encourage you to pause, do the exercise, and then we're going to move on. Alrighty. Actually, that's why I haven't included a workbook, because I want you to do it in real time. Alrighty. So the first part is about unpacking. And this part of the unpacking is unpacking what is your sweet spot. Now, you've probably heard about the sweet spot, the entrepreneurial sweet spot. You might have heard about it, over and over and over again. And what really is it? It's really, the sweet spot is, well, a lot of people are going to call it a lot of different things. But for me, it's setting up a strong foundation so that you're building a business. Because remember, we're building a business that's going to scale. It can scale into infinity. That's the aim of this thing, right? Now, if you build something on a framework, on a foundation that is not all of these things, then you're going to have, if you think you've got a problem with one client doing something that you don't particularly love, how do you think you're going to go with 1,000 clients? It's going to be creating a rod for your back. We don't want to do that. So in the context of this masterclass, your sweet spot is finding out what you love to do, what you have the greatest impact in, and what feels ridiculously easy for you. And then we're going to flavor that with what makes you unique and how are you different. So what do you love to do in the sense of your business? Like you might love to go, and drink champagne by the beach. I know I do. That's awesome, but no one's going to pay you to do that. Although, who knows, right? But what do you love to do in the context of your business? What are the bits of your business that you could say to yourself, if this is all I did all day, every day, I would be in heaven right now. This is what I love to do. And then how do you have the greatest impact? Now, if you are new to your role as a coach or a trainer or a consultant, you might be thinking, well, I'm only just starting out, so I don't really know how I have the greatest impact. But I want you to think back because you moved into your role because you were having an impact. You were probably having conversations with friends or family or colleagues, and they were like, oh, you're amazing at this. And they come to you for that sort of advice. So that's the telltale sign about where you're having the greatest impact. And then I want you to think about what feels ridiculously easy for you. Too many times coaches tend to think, and when I say coaches, whether you're a consultant or a personal trainer, you do have a coaching role. So I'm just going to call everybody a coach. Please don't be offended by that. But if I go and I try to say coaches, consultants, or personal trainers for everything, we're both going to be over it. So what feels ridiculously easy for you? Here's the thing. When we are so good at something because it comes so naturally easy to us, we tend to make the mistake of thinking, well, I can't charge for that, or nobody is going to pay for that, or doesn't everybody know how to do that? And at the end of the day, they don't. It's easy for you because that's your zone of genius and it feels easy for a reason, right? And there are probably there are millions of people, billions of people that don't know how to do what you do easily. So don't underestimate if something feels super easy for you, then that is probably your zone of genius. So we want to make sure that we're setting up a foundation because we're building this business that's going to scale. And if you've got lots and lots and lots of people working with you, you better love it. You better know you're having impact, because as leaders and coaches, that is the thing that is most important to us. Sure, the money's great, but we want to make an impact. We want our message to be heard because we know that we can have an impact on the world. So we want to make sure that if we're doing this work, it's actually translating into results for people, because if it's not, then we're going to feel pretty crap about ourselves and we're going to stop enjoying it. So you've got to love what you do. You're going to have impact in that area, and it's going to feel easy for you because you don't want to feel like you have to work so hard just to be good at it. You don't want to feel that way. You want to feel like it is easy for you, all right? And then we want to flavor all of that with what makes you unique and how are you different. Too many coaches don't know how to answer those questions. They don't know what makes them unique and they don't know how they're different. And I tell you right now, you have to know that. Because, for an example, say you're a wellness coach and you're teaching gut health, right? Because you love gut health and you know how important that is. Well, there are a million coaches out there doing exactly the same thing. So people are going to eeny, meeny, miny, mo making a choice. You want to make that choice easy. So what makes you unique might be the fact that, maybe you've gone through perimenopause or menopause, and you got to see that when you took really good care of your gut health, your symptoms reduced. And so gut health and hormone related, issues for women, or specifically menopause, might be what makes you unique. And how are you different? And again, there are probably thousands of women that are talking about the same thing, gut health in relation to hormones, in relation to menopause. But how you teach that information and how you get people from A to Z is going to be different. Your approach is going to be different because you are different. So it's time to really dig into that. Don't cop out and say, well, I don't know how, or this is the same as everybody else, or whatever. Do the work. When coaches talk about doing the inner work, when mentors are saying to you, you've got to dig deep and do the inner work, this is what it's about. It's this inner work right here. If you can't tell me what makes you different, if you can't tell me how you're different, then you're going to struggle to really stand out from the competition and be heard by the people that you want to impact. All right, so pause the recording now and answer those questions to the best of your ability. Don't expect it to be perfect. Don't expect it to be 100% right. Just do your best. All right, off you go. All righty. So the next part that we are unpacking is your framework, which is all about how do you do what it is that you do. And firstly, we need to start with what's your promise? So let's go back to the example of the wellness coach again. Your promise might be reduce your menopause symptoms through increasing your gut health in 12 weeks. Maybe that's the promise. That wasn't very sexy off the top of my head, but you get what I'm going for here. You want to have a specific outcome that is your promise to your clients, right? Or your potential clients. So that's the promise. And then the next part is, what is your process? So how do you make that happen? Now, you might not have this in a structured, formatted way where it's like the first thing I do is step 1, and then the second thing that I do is step 2, and then the next thing that I do is step 3. You might mentally be doing that, or you will mentally be doing that, even if you don't have a formal structured process in writing. You're going to have a process for this. You are going to have many things that are the same. It doesn't matter who you work with. Now, that is not to say, again, it's not the cookie cutter approach thing. It's not saying that every woman is the same if we're using that same example, but you will have a process. So you will have a process where, the first thing that I want to do is make sure that I know what I'm dealing with. I want to know, I'm going to conduct some sort of audit. I want to know what's she eating right now? What's her lifestyle like? What's her stress levels like? All of those different things. And then from there, the next part of the process is this thing that I do. And then the logical next step from there is this thing. Now, I said to you at the start that I would be giving you specific structures and systems and processes that are, they create proven and predictable results. This is one of them. If you can be very clear about your promise, and then you can clearly spell out what your process is, so people know, oh, this is what I get if I sign up with you, and oh, I see how we're going to do this. If you can answer those questions, that is going to take you a long way, because a confused mind won't hit buy. It's not going to click the buy now button, I promise. And it's going to help you as well. Some of the things that, when I help people unpack their process, some of the things that come out of this are people are able to write a book, because they go, oh, okay, I have a system here, and they didn't realize they had a system. If you have a formal system for something, now it's going to be I'm not saying that, every woman is going to go through the exact same process, but like me taking you through this program, there are things that are the same for everybody. Everybody needs this promise, and everybody needs to show the process that they're going to take people through to get there, because then people feel safe. They feel like, okay, we're both on the same page. I know what it is that I'm trying to achieve and what you're going to help me to achieve. And I know how we're going to go about this and the process that you're going to take me through. Now, whether you're a wellness coach, whether you're a business coach, whether you're a life coach, whether you coach teens, whether you are a personal trainer, whether you sell MLM products, whatever it is, that process is the same, and you are going to have the same within your own business. You are going to have a system that you follow, even if it's not written down and automated right now. So when it comes to the promise, think about, okay, what is the dream outcome that I want to give my clients? And if they do all the things that I tell them to do, that they're going to achieve this result. So what is that promise? I want you to think about that. And then the process. So, it might be 12 steps, it might be 5, it might be 3. I want you to nut out, if this is the promise, what is the journey that I need to take them on? What's the first thing that I do? What's the next milestone step? What's the milestone step after that? What's the next one? Until you get to that place of where you've delivered that promise, where you've delivered that outcome. All right, so I want you to pause now and do that work. Alrighty, so the next part is delivery. So you've now got your promise. So that is reduce your menopause symptoms through gut health in 12 weeks, for example. And you've decided that the process for that is, the first thing that I do is an audit. The second thing that I do is we create the foundation. The third step is blah, blah, blah. So you've got those 2 things, right? You now have a program, or the framework for a program. You'll have to go away and develop the content, but the roadmap that's going to take people there. And that helps them, and it helps you to know that you're on track. Then the second part is, this part is the delivery. So how do you want to do it? How do you prefer to work with people? And what would feel like your ultimate freedom machine? So how I prefer to work with people is in a group most of the time. I do some one-on-one coaching. I always have one-on-one clients, but they are the exception rather than the rule, and they've got to be the right person. How I prefer to work with people is to create a lot of pre-recorded content that is good quality, simple, so that they can follow and action it. I like to keep things simple so people actually do the work. And I like to create all of the content so that they can watch it and download it and do all the things in their own time. And then I like to support them through live interaction, through a Facebook group, through live calls, that sort of thing. But I like to deliver my content online in a pre-recorded format, and then I like to mingle and support and encourage and answer questions and all that in a live format. That's how I love to do it. For me, that feels like an ultimate freedom machine. What doesn't feel like an ultimate freedom machine is creating a whole bunch of automated programs, and then I never speak to anybody, because I'm going to feel like I'm missing out. I like my clients. I like my community. I want to be in amongst it. What feels like ultimate freedom for me is it doesn't matter where I am in the world or what I'm doing. I can still show up and do a Facebook Live and answer questions for people. That's like my ultimate freedom machine. Maybe down the track it might be full automation where I'm not doing live stuff, but I can't see that day happening, to be honest. I really love being in amongst my community. So how do you prefer to work with people? Do you like to work with people face to face in a room somewhere? Or do you prefer to do it online? Do you prefer to show up and do your best work live, so that you do live webinar based programs where the content is being delivered live? Think about how you prefer to work with people, and then what's going to feel like your ultimate freedom machine. Now here, I want to invite you to go all out with giving yourself permission to want what you really, really want. So for me, a little while ago, I had the idea for my current program, and then I let myself be distracted by doing a live workshop. And I went and I did a 2-day live workshop, and I was freaking exhausted. And it's like, I don't like to do 2-day workshops. I like to do a 1-day workshop from time to time, but I like to do those workshops when I feel like it. Just off the cuff, it's like, okay, I feel like running this thing, so let's go do it. And then I enjoy it, and then I step away from it and go, yeah, that's going to be enough for a while, because I'm an introvert. I love to share my message, and my message is about everybody else, but I'm essentially an introvert. I get people hangover like nobody's business. So this perfectly suits my nature and how I work with people and how I know I can get the best results. So the live program that I did, I looked back afterwards and thought, a lot of that content that I delivered is far better delivered online when people could do it in their own time. And so it just reinforced for me to get off the detour, come back and do what it is that I'm supposed to be doing, which is this. Anyway, I want you to really think about this question. Think broadly, think big, think about, what would your ultimate freedom machine look like? That's what your business is supposed to be for you. And don't get caught up in the hows and that's not possible and blah, blah, all the blahs, right? Just give yourself permission to want what you want. We'll worry about the details later. All right, time to pause and do that work. Alrighty, moving on to target market. Now, if you're rolling your eyes going, again, I have to do this again, I feel you, because, yeah, we've all been there. But I'm going to ask, who is your ideal target market? So who is it that's best suited to your programs? And have you noticed that I've asked you to do it in this particular order? I want you to think about, what is it that you want to do, you love to do, blah, 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 all those things. And then who is best suited to your programs. I don't want you to think about a person and then go and create a program based on that. I don't want you to pick a target market and then go create a program then, because what you're going to do is you're going to say, right, oh, no, that person's not going to like that bit, or, oh, I think they're not, you're going to edit that process, which is basically, that is your life's work. That is your gift. That's your legacy. This program that you're creating is going to be the thing that is your heart and soul, the thing that you're good at, the area of expertise where you have the greatest impact, all of those things. Now, if you think of the market first and then you create the program, you are going to edit it. Whether you think you're going to or not, you will. So who is best suited for your programs? So obviously, if we talk about the gut health lady, wellness coach, obviously women who are in perimenopause or going through menopause and they need help with it, they're going to be best suited. But not everybody, because if it's an online program, they're also going to have to be the sort of woman who is going to be a self-starter with online programs and be one of those people that holds themselves accountable. Maybe your program is more hands-on, where they have group coaching calls and they have access to you via email, but they're still going to have to be an online savvy kind of girl, right? So think about who is best suited to your programs. And then I want you to ask yourself the question, why would they be interested? Why would they be interested in your specific program and your specific promise? And then why do you want to work with these people over everybody else? Because here's the thing, you have to love your potential clients. You have to love the market that you're working in. So why do you want to work with them? What compels you to do that? Usually for coaches, it's been, I was where they once were and it sucked. And I want to be able to help them. I know I can help them. I know that I can move them through this faster. I know I can move them through this with less pain. I know I can help them. I can help move them through this with the least amount of fuss. And I can get them results. And when I do get them results, this is what it's going to mean for their life. This is this, and it comes back to impact. This is the sort of impact I want to be having, because I know I can help people. I know if they just do as I bloody say they should, then they're going to get the result. And it has a big and profound effect on these people's lives. I love these people. I want to stop their suffering. I want to help them, whatever it is. Get in touch with that why, because it is a big one. And then, can they afford it? This is where we come into pricing, right? I'm not going to suggest that you create a program that is based on whether people can afford it or not. Because really, what it comes down to is you need to make it so impossible for them not to afford it. They can see the value. If you can give the value, show the value, then you will be able to charge whatever you want. And when I say whatever you want, it has to feel good in your gut. I've charged anywhere from, what's the lowest entry? I think I had a $47 product once upon a time. At the same time that I had a $25,000 program running. And it makes no difference. Some people can afford the $45, $47 thing. Other people can afford the $25,000 thing if the value is there. And even the people that couldn't afford it found a way to afford it because they knew the value was there. So can they afford it? Usually the answer is yes. There is always a portion of the market who can afford it. You know, you're going to have to test that. You might get pushback and you might get the pricing wrong. I've done that too. And then you adjust and you're like, oh. And even yesterday at home, I was looking, there was a gym that was running circuit classes near my home. And the first time I looked, I went, that's pretty expensive for what it is. And like, yeah, look, I've already got 2 gym memberships. I just don't know that I feel like I want to pay for a third one. I just feel like it's pretty expensive. Anyway, I thought, I think I might go do that thing. And then I got online and they reduced the price from, I think it was $65 a week to $25 a week. And it's like, oh, no brainer, I'm in. So they had the price wrong in the beginning and then they adjusted it. And for me, it was like a no-brainer offer. A no-brainer, hell yes. So, you know, you might get the pricing wrong, but everything is test and measure. So don't ever feel like it's perfect. I have gone in and created programs with the price and then gone in and said, oh, I got the price wrong, guys. I'm charging too much. I think it needs to be this. And people accept that. Everybody makes mistakes. Your job is not to be perfect. Your job is just to continue to show up and keep moving forward and trusting your gut. And if you make a mistake, adjust. That's what big ass entrepreneurs do. That's what entrepreneurs with big girl pants on do. You know, we don't get caught up and rock in the fetal position because we got our pricing wrong. We just work it out, right? Just like anything else, we work it out. All right, so who is your ideal target market? Who's best suited for your programs or program? And I'm going to encourage you to say program. And then why would they be interested? What's in that for them? There's content for you if you can answer these questions. Marketing collateral. Why do you want to work with these people over everybody else? Get in touch with why you want to serve these people. Why do you choose these people over anybody else? There's a reason. Plug into that because you're going to feel so much better if you do that. And then can they afford it? Alrighty, so pause and do the exercise for me. Alrighty. Sorry, I forgot to say we'd moved into part B. We are in part B. And now we're talking about attract and convert. So what are your people looking for and what do they want? So this is where it comes to your marketing and your messaging. You need to get their attention. So how can you get their attention? So knowing your people, knowing why you want to serve them, knowing your outcome, you know, the promise that you're making, knowing that you can help these people, how are you going to get their attention? What is it that they want? So this is where your promise comes in. The promise, you have to nail the promise. What problem can you solve for them really quickly? And how can you bring them value and provide a quick win? What does that look like? And is it consistent with your bigger message and promise? So you're probably thinking, what the hell is she even talking about right now? So what I'm talking about is if we are looking at attracting and converting, and we're creating an automated process, we need some sort of lead magnet. Other people call it an opt-in, other people call it a freebie. You are in the midst of mine right now, right? So I obviously got your attention for a particular reason. Whatever it is that you wanted, I'm hopefully you're getting that, but you seem to think that you would get it because you clicked on it and you're still sitting here right now. What problem can you solve for them quickly? So this is helping you to find a clear path to being able to create an ultimate freedom machine. That's what this is about. I'm hoping to be able to solve solve the problem of clarity for you really, really quickly. I want to provide value and give you a quick win where you're able to do these exercises and feel like you're moving forward. I'm hoping that by now you're feeling really excited, you're feeling optimistic, you're starting to have a ton of different ideas that maybe you didn't have before, you're feeling super creative. And what does that look like? So for you, if you're the gut health lady, let's use her again. Your promise is going to get their attention. What do they want? So you're going to get their attention that way. What problem can you solve for them quickly? So it might be something like a 3-day detox or 10 foods to incorporate into your diet every day for 3 days that is going to help blah, blah, blah. How can you provide value for these people and give them a quick win? You want to find a way to move them forward quickly. What does it look like? Is it a handout? Is it a video? Is it an e-course? Is it a checklist? What does it look like? And then is it consistent with your bigger message and promise? So this masterclass is definitely consistent with, the bigger message that I have for you and my promise, which is about helping you to create an ultimate freedom machine so you can have a life of more impact, abundance, and freedom. That's what it's all about for me. And unleash you, so that you get to do this thing your way, 100%, so that it feels like it's built on a solid foundation that you feel safe to scale to infinity and beyond. So now I want you to think about, how can you get their attention? What do they want? What do your people want? What problem can you solve from them quickly? How can you bring them value and provide a quick win? What does it look like in the form of a freebie? And then, is this consistent with your bigger message and promise? And the reason that I say that is sometimes coaches create the darndest things. So they might be, say it's a gut health lady, and she's like, okay, my program is 12 weeks to overcoming your menopause symptoms through improved gut health or something like that. And then they might create a freebie that is a journaling program or something like that. And it's like, right. They sign up for a journaling program and then you try to sell them a gut health program. Like, it doesn't make sense. So you have to make sure that whatever you're giving away makes sense to your bigger program. When I say make sense, is it a natural and logical conclusion for people to move through your freebie and go, yeah, I want the next thing? That's what it's all about. When you're giving away something for free, the whole idea is to be able to create forward momentum so that you are able to satisfy that person that, oh yeah, this person can actually do something for me. Already I've had a bit of a quick win. Already I feel good. Already I'm getting some sort of result from working with them, and that was free. So I know that if I take the next step, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to get even more from that. So that's what we want to be able to do. So take your time now to pause and answer those questions. Alrighty, paid traffic is where it is at. Now, if you're there telling yourself, I'm going to create my freebie and then I'm just going to share it in Facebook groups and, do a couple of promoted posts and, get my friends to share it and all the rest of it, you are going to take a very long time to make money. And by the time you actually get a result, you're going to be so over it that you don't even love what you're doing anymore because you've had to work so hard to get a handful of leads. Paid traffic is really where it's at. The days of I've been doing this stuff online since 2006, and it was so much easier back then. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I made mistakes left over, hand over fist. I had no freaking idea what I was doing. And it was still easy to make money online back then. Even in 2014, 2015, when I was selling my high-end coaching program, that was easy to do as well because, you just get a good ads campaign happening and away you go. It's a lot more difficult than it used to be. So you've really got to nail that thing that we just spoke about. So your lead magnet has to be really strong. And that again is just doing the thinking work, getting clear about working out what it is that they want and how you can help them, building it out and then just getting it happening. But, the paid traffic is where it's at. So it's creating those freebies like this one and then testing it and seeing if it works. And then when it works, on a small budget and you're getting the conversion rate that you're after, then you start to switch it up and turn it up. So it doesn't matter if you're earning $4 for every dollar that you spend. Does it matter if you spend $1,000 on advertising? No, it doesn't. So paid traffic is really the fastest way to be able to make money online and sell your online programs, or not even your online programs, your live ones. So the group program that was live that I ran recently, I know that it was safe for me to spend however much I was spending a day, because for every 4 leads that I got, I closed 1, and the cost of those leads were nowhere near compared to, what I was going to make from it. So when you get that part right and you get the numbers right, then you can scale it. And it does take trial and error. It really does. And it does take testing. And there have probably been more lead magnets that I've launched that haven't worked than the ones that have. That is just the way that it goes. It's testing and testing and testing. I'm better at it now, and you will get good at it too. But what you need to do is make sure that your offer is exciting and enticing. And you've got to ensure consistency of message and brand. So I think we've all been in that place where we've gone and clicked on something that was, get my freebie thing, and you click on it, and then you go to a page and it's like, hang on, how did I end up here? Because it's not consistent. You need congruency across everything. So whatever the ad looks like and says needs to match up with whatever is going on the landing page. So make sure that consistency is there. Make your offer really clear. Sign up and get this. It's as simple as that. And ensure they know what to do next. So when you've got those leads coming in and they're going through your emails, your email sequence, or at the end of the recording, like you're going to see me do shortly, or whatever it is, you've just got to let them know, this is what you do next. This is how you can work with me. Go here, do this, right? That is how we do it. And then keep an eye on your numbers. So when you launch something and you're using that paid traffic, you know what numbers that you want. And so for me, for example, I want my leads to be under $3 each, and I want my conversion rate around 40%, which is going to take some time to do. But that's the ultimate goal over the next 6 months, 40% or more. So know what you want those numbers to be and make sure that they're moving in the right direction. Now, this might feel a little confusing to you, and don't overthink it right now, but just know that when you go to create an automated lead process, which is your opt-in or your lead magnet or your freebie or whatever it is, ensure that it is something that they want. You don't want to put money into Facebook ads promoting something that's the same as everybody else, and it's not really that exciting. It's got to be a little bit outside of the box. Make sure that consistency of message and brand is right. Make your offer clear. Ensure that they know what to do next. And if you do all of those things, you're weighing the scales in your favor. So that's what we want to do. You might nail it first off, and a lot of people do, but a lot of people don't as well. So you've just got to be prepared to keep going with it. And when those numbers start to tell you, a good story, that's when you can start to invest more and more and more. And that's how you get to grow and scale very, very quickly and make a lot of money very quickly. And that's where we want you to be. If this is feeling confusing, just hold the thought, stick with me, and it's going to become clearer as I move forward. But for now, I don't need you to stop. We're just talking about this, right? We just need to make sure that offer, all of those things, make sure the offer is exciting and enticing. Ensure that whatever you build, whether it's a sales landing page or an opt-in page or whatever it is, make sure that it just looks the same as everything else. So people aren't shaking their head like, oh, the picture was blue, but I logged on, I clicked on the page and now it's all yellow. Makes no sense. And make sure your offer is clear and ensure that they know what to do next. And then when you've got that up and running, keep an eye on your numbers. Give things time. People want to run Facebook ads, and if it hasn't worked in 24 hours, they want to turn it off. You've got to give Facebook the opportunity to do its job. It knows where to send people. Sometimes it just needs, well, it does. It needs some information to be able to start to go, oh, okay, these people are more interested in it, so I'm going to send the ad to their pages because we know these people are really interested. This age group seems to be really resonating, so I'm going to, we're going to push the ads towards them. So Facebook needs time, it needs information, and then it spits out your statistic numbers, and then you can make decisions based on that. But as I said, if that's over your head right now and you're freaking out, please don't, because anyone can do this stuff, and I'm going to show you how. All right, so some mistakes to avoid when creating an ultimate freedom machine. Honestly, I do believe that everybody is capable of creating an ultimate freedom machine. Everybody, if you can avoid these mistakes. So the first thing is people abandon stuff too early. So they might, they might run some Facebook ads and run them for 2 or 3 days, and they're not getting the results, and they're thinking, I'm spending money and I'm not getting anything. I'm spending money and I'm not getting anything. And then they pull the pin, and then they think, well, if the Facebook ads didn't work, then this thing mustn't be working. And then they pull the pin and they abandon it, when really it's just going to take some perseverance, some figuring of shit out, and sticking with the plan, and being flexible in your approach, because sometimes what we think is the right path isn't. It might be for, but it's a good place to start. And then it's going to bump you into the next thing that you need to pay attention to, and then the next thing and the next thing. So don't bail too early, give things time. And one of the things that I always coach my clients around, and the thing that has always worked for me, is I focus on one thing for 12 months. One thing, and that's it. One product, one program, one focus for 12 months, and that's it. Because I know that I'm going to bump up against roadblocks and resistance. I know that things are going to fall down. I know I'm going to have made mistakes. I know that sometimes it takes far longer to gain traction than we hope. We think that we're going to launch something and everyone's going to love it, but people are self-absorbed. They're worried about their own stuff. They're focused on themselves. They're not focused on your product or your program. And so sometimes things take a lot longer than we think. So you have to be prepared to stick at it. And if you give yourself a full 12 months, then you're playing the long game, and that's what it takes to win. All right. The next mistake people make is there's no real solid strategy or plan of attack. They just throw shit at the internet and hope it's going to work. And, if you've got a massive following, sometimes that'll work. But if you don't, then that's not going to work. You need a solid strategy. You need a plan of attack. Yes, it will be adaptable, and you will have to adjust and all of those things. But you're going to have to follow some sort of strategy. It's going to give you a sense of control over things, and it'll mean that you stick to a plan. As I said, you'll adjust a little bit as you go along. But if you know that you have these major milestones, strategies to move through, then you know where you're going next. You know where you've come from. You can tick that off the list, and you know where you're moving to next. And that's important, because otherwise that is when one of the reasons people abandon too early, because they're like, well, I don't know what comes next. That didn't work, so I'm out of here. And the other thing is no commitment to the time frame. So as I said, commit for 12 months. Don't just say, I'm going to throw this thing at the internet and, oh my God, it didn't work after 2 weeks, so I'm out of here. Commit to it, because if you commit to 12 months, you will find the way, which leads me to my next point. No commitment to finding a way. You will find a way. If you commit to, this is my focus for 12 months, this is the goal that I'm hustling for, then if you're committed to those two things, when you hit roadblocks, when you have a setback, when things aren't going the way that you want them to, you will find a way. And that's the most important thing, you know. And if you can do all of those things, along with the other things that I've just spoken about, you can create an ultimate freedom machine. And if that's, you know, an online program that you can scale to $1 million, then that's your commitment. That's the thing that you're sticking to, and you just hang in there until you find a way. It might take you 3 months, it might take you 3 years, but if you are committed and you are committed to continuing to find a way to make it work, then you will get there. You know, quitting too early is not going to serve you or anyone else, because it means that all of those people that you're going to help miss out on the insight that only you can bring. So yeah, no quitting. All right, so my rule of thumb, I've just said this, haven't I? Give yourself a full 12 months. And remember that often your greatest breakthrough is just before your greatest struggle. You've probably experienced this in your life. I know the hell I have. Figure things out. Don't avoid fixing problems, and don't take too long. So if something's not working, and you know, I talk about all of these things from experience. If something's not working, don't just say, oh, this is too hard, I'll come back to it later, and then 3 months go past. You've got to just stick with things and keep moving forward, and don't avoid fixing problems. Just get on them and keep moving forward. And then finally, you know, trust and have faith in your ability to win. Know that you have what it takes. And if there's something that you don't know, you will find it out. If there's something that you haven't learned yet, you will learn it. If there's a strategy you don't know about, you will learn about it. Just stay plugged in, stay in faith, continue to trust that this thing is going to happen, and stay plugged into what the universe is trying to tell you, and then you will get there. All right, so how I can help you. I said to you at the start that I would let you know if that there is a way for you to continue to work with me, and there is, and it's only $20 a month. Now, the reason that I'm charging $20 a month is I want to work on volume. And my goal is 5,000 members in the next 12 months. And that's going to net me 1.5 mil Australian dollars a year if I can hit those numbers, or when I hit those numbers. And the reason that I want to charge $20 a month is because I want to create such a freaking wow experience for you guys that my retention is 95% or higher. And it is only going to stay that way if you're investing a small amount and you're getting like 100 times that value every single month. That's how I win, and that's how you win. And it is about creating win-win situations. So this is a membership program. It's an ongoing membership program called the Leveraged Entrepreneur Membership Program, obviously. And it is for coaches and consultants and trainers who want to scale their business from one to many, and to have greater impact, manifest more money, and enjoy more freedom. Now, you've probably noticed that I'm all about business growth strategies and how to scale your empire and all those things. But I'm also a little bit law of attraction. You know, I do believe that mindset is everything. I do believe that what we focus on expands. I do believe that managing our energy is freaking our number one priority. You know, if we are not in that place of trust and belief and faith, then it's very difficult to get where we want to be. So very hard to do that. So the program is, you need to move through a certain sequence. So every week new content is released that's basically going to help you create that framework. So we move through things like unpacking. I'm going to help you unpack your process. I'm going to help you unpack your sweet spot. I'm going to help you lay those really solid foundations so that when you do create this product, this program, that it's built on that foundation that I spoke to you about, where it's solid, 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 and it's not going to be shaky when you hit 100 members and you're like, what the hell have I done? Like, I've set myself up to be, you know, miserable for the rest of my life. We don't want that. And then I'm going to help you to create that framework so that you build a solid program that does have a specific promise and outcome that you're promising these people, and a proper way to get them there, a systemized process that you can repeat. And when you create something like this, it's your IP and it's amazing, and you can run it as an online program, you can run it as a live program, you can run it any way you want. When you've got the system in hand and you know how you help people do the thing that you do, and you can show them a process for it, then that is what people are buying. They know it's, okay, this is a predictable outcome based on the system, and that's what we want. So I help move you through that. the delivery platform. So if you decide you want to create an online program, I'm going to show you the different ways that you can do that, from a way that's super simple and doesn't cost you a cent to a way that, you know, is more expensive and more tech heavy and all the rest of it. But there are ways to take a program online without spending a cent. Trust me, I've done it many times, and I can show you how to do that too. And then we talk about the attraction and conversion. So the program is basically going to help you get clear on what it is that you deliver. It's going to help you create that system. It's going to help you be really clear on your target market, your marketing message, and all of those different things, and then getting traffic to it. So as I say, it's $20 a month. It's a bit of a no-brainer, and the idea is to give you a whole bunch of pre-recorded content in sequential order that is not going to overwhelm you, but it's like, okay, this is what I need to do next, and then this is what I need to do next, and then support you through a really vibrant Facebook community and also live Q&As every single week. I love to play inside my community, so I'll be in there running live Q&As and just getting in there and helping you where I can. Now, I already spoke about that, didn't I? I need to have a printout of my slides so I know what I'm talking about next. All right, so it is an ongoing monthly membership program designed to step you through the process of scaling and automating your business, building your audience, and of course staying ahead of the competition while having a bigger impact, manifesting more abundance, and truly creating a life of more freedom. So what's included in the membership is the step-by-step pre-recorded lessons, a massive resources section. So if you want to know things like, how do I add a PayPal button to my page that looks pretty, there's a resource for that. If you want to know, how do I create a sales landing page that looks amazing and people can purchase from, there's a tutorial for that. So there's a whole bunch of resources and tutorials. There's a new monthly masterclass, much like this one. Depending on what I think you need to know at the time, the stuff that I'm testing, the stuff that's working. There is that Facebook group forum and the live Q&A sessions every week. The program is for you if you have a message you want to share on a global scale and be able to impact thousands of people instead of tens of people, if that's a thing. Now, I have an offer. So if you join now, you're going to receive this bonus valued at $80. So I created this in 2015, and this is a framework for creating a six-figure business and also creating a brand that gets attention. Each of these is a PDF document that is writable. So you'll be able to type straight into the documents and just keep updating them. You know, you might want to revisit these every now and then and come back and do that. You'll be able to do that. And make changes and adjust. There's a checklist in there. They're pretty awesome, I have to say. And there's also an explainer video for each one. So you'll download the blueprint and then you'll be taken to a video that basically tells you how to use it and how to do it. And that is basically it. So that offer is only going to be available for a little time. If you look down, you'll see what's happening there as far as the countdown goes. And I hope to see you in my community. Honestly, I know it's only $20 a month, but I promise you not to be fooled by that. If you got anything out of this training, then know that you are going to get even more out of that training, because it's my passion to be able to deliver great information to you guys and keep you moving forward and keep it at a price that means that it's not stressful, so you can focus on doing the things that you need to do to grow your business. And also, I guess I should mention that I have done in the early years especially, I did everything on a shoestring. You know, I've launched programs that haven't cost me a cent to launch and made lots of money that way. I don't want you to think that if you sign up for something like this as a whole confusing funnel process or products that you need to buy afterwards. This is a standalone product. You know, it's $20 a month. You're not going to get in there and be hard sold into something else. This is my dream ultimate freedom machine. 5,000 members, all happy, all making big stuff happen in their businesses and all creating their own freedom machines. That is what it's about for me. Anyway, join or head to theleveragederentrepreneur.com and you'll be able to get yourself signed up, and that bonus is available for just a short amount of time. Okay, thank you for being here today, and Good luck. And as I said, I hope to see you in my community soon. Ciao for now.